Good morning to all. So in the last class we started with the chapter skeletal system, and today we are going to discuss a new topic, and that is about the parts of the human skeleton. So the first one, that is the skull. The bony framework of the head is called as skull. And do you know how many bones are there in our human skull? Our human skull generally consists of 22 bones. So in that, 8 are cranial bones and 14 are facial bones. And all these bones are very strong. These bones are very strong and hard. And all these bones in the human skull are fixed. That means these bones joins with each other to form immovable joints. So you know what are joints? 2 or more bones meet to form joints. These bones join together to form immovable joints. That means these joints do not move. They do not allow any movements. So which means these bones, the bones in our skull, are fixed. They do not move except the lower jaw. So this is our lower jaw. The lower jaw is a movable bone. Except our lower jaw, all bones are fixed. And our lower jaw enables us to eat, talk, etc. And we have teeth on our lower jaw and upper jaw. So the first part is the skull. That is the bony framework of the head. And this skull protects our head, eyes, ears, nose, etc. Then there are 22 bones in our human skull. And all these bones are fixed except the lower jaw. Coming to the next part, that is the vertebral column or the backbone. So have you ever felt a long structure which is running from your neck to your back? That is your backbone or the vertebral column. So vertebral column is also called as the spinal column. So the vertebral column forms the main stem of the skeletal system. It forms the main stem of the skeletal system. Then it runs from top to bottom of the skeleton, from the skull to the pelvic bone. That is, the pelvic bone is situated between the abdomen and the legs. Then, are we all able to bend our back? Yes. Can we twist our body? Yes. Can we stand straight? Yes. So we can do all these things. That is because our body is supported by flexible column of bones, and that is called the vertebral column. You can see the picture here. Our body is supported by flexible column of bones, which is called as the vertebral column. And this vertebral column is not made up of a single bone. It is made up of multiple bones. So, they are made up of 33 ring-shaped bones, which is called as the vertebrae. So, they are made up of 33 ring-shaped bones, which is called as the vertebrae. And there is a hole in each vertebrae through which the spinal cord runs. And this spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column. And the next thing is that there are 3 natural curves in the backbone. There are 3 natural curves. And these 3 natural curves give this vertebral column an S-like structure. So the vertebral column has an S-like structure. So that is these 3 natural curves that gives the backbone an S-like structure. And these curves helps the backbone to bear the load of our body and even protect our head from shocks and jerks as we walk or run. So that is about the vertebral column. It forms the main stem of the skeletal system. Coming to the next one, that is the rib cage. If you closely observe this picture, you can see a long bone at the center, and that is called as the sternum. And connected to that sternum, you can see 12 pairs of curved bones. So 1, 2, 3, like that, there are 12 pairs of curved bones. that is called as ribs. So the ribs and the sternum together form a cage-like structure, and that is called as the rib cage. So this is the rib cage, and it is located in the chest region. The rib cage protects our internal organs like the heart, lungs, etc. Then these curves, that is these curved bones, that is our ribs, these ribs are flexible. These are flexible bones. So that is why we are able to move our chest when we breathe. So that is about the rib cage. Coming to the next one, arms and legs. In each of our arm and leg, we have 3 long bones and many small bones. So in our arm, we have 3 long bones. That is the humerus, the radius and the ulna. And this humerus is the longest bone in our upper arm. And then is the radius. So this radius is located at the thumb side of our arm. So this is the radius. And next is the ulna. This ulna is located at the little finger side of our arm. There are 3 long bones in our arm. That is the humerus, the radius and the ulna. In each of our leg, we have 3 long bones, and that is the femur, fibula and tibia. This femur is the thigh bone and it is the largest bone of our body. So each bone in our arm and legs are light, and at the same time they are extremely strong. They are extremely strong and they can resist and tolerate pressure and weight. So that is why we are able to hold our weight, and at the same time we are able to take additional weight and walk. So these bones are very strong, and at the same time they can tolerate extreme pressure. So that is about the bones in our arms and legs. Then it is given the thigh bone, called the femur, is the longest bone in our body. Then do you know which is the smallest bone in our body? Which is called as the stirrup. It is in the ear. It is as small as rice grain, which means it is too small. So these are the different parts of the human skeleton. The skull, the vertebral column, the rib cage, then arms and legs. So I hope you all understood about the parts of the human skeleton. In the coming class, we'll be discussing a very new topic. Till then, thank you.